Hey everybody, PJ here, Watch Trading Academy, and today we are talking about this very important topic. Are all watches investments or not? Now, I received a question from Gjoy, or GGO, whatever, however you spell that, on one of my videos asking, should I just buy a watch and hold it so that it goes up, or should I buy it and trade it? And reality is, let's just kind of talk about this because a lot of people aren't talking about this. They're generalizing statements. First off, if you want to learn how to invest and of course trade watches, click the link in the description. I have a 60-minute training where I'm going to break down for you how to exactly do just that. Secondly, today what we are really trying to talk about is the idea of that all watches are considered investments, because I get this a lot. People sometimes buy Hublots, Panerais, Ulysse Nardins and tell me, they're like, how long should I hold this watch in order to make a profit? And reality is you don't even have to hold that watch, because those are not watches that historically have any data backing up that they will keep going up. The demand is not heavy enough based on the supply ratios in the markets to warrant a premium over time. So for that reason, those watches will typically never go up. Now, there are certain variations of certain specific models that could go up with time, but it is very rare to find specific watches that are not of the three better homes, which would be the Patek, the AP, and the Rolex watches, that would historically go up just with time. So not all Rolexes go up with time, not all APs go up significantly with time, and not all Pateks go up with time at a rate that is worth keeping money in a watch. A lot of times people don't realize that rate of return matters just as much. So just because you bought a watch for $5,000, let's say 20 years ago, and now it's worth $17,000, doesn't mean you made money, because at some point you have to factor in cost of inflation, opportunity cost, and everything else that could have come with that money. Even if you made some money, it's good if you still wore the watch and you wanted to for 10 years, but that in itself isn't necessarily a strategy. So, when we talk about investment watches, we talk about very specific models within the niche that are so in demand and have such limited supply that they historically are going to continue to go up time and over time and time again, regardless of what's happening with the demand ratio. Historically, they will go up over a 5-year period at a significantly higher return than most people expect to earn from the markets. When I look at an investment watch, that's what I typically look at. When I look at a watch that is just a watch to be bought and traded, it has to be bought at the right dollar, it has to be bought correctly so that it doesn't need any service or anything else, and it then has to be resold, could be resold immediately for a profit of at least 20 to 25%. So if it carries that margin, is not a fake, and is the right model that will be tradable, then it needs to be traded. It needs to be traded immediately before the market changes, or more units are on the market that could change the value of that watch based on other people's likeliness to resell that watch at that time. So not all watches are created equal, not all watches are investments, and in many cases watches can always be traded if bought right, but they can't always be invested in because the ROI isn't always worth it. So perhaps a small description of the difference between the two, but something you can keep in mind. If you're not buying the right watches and you're not picking the right watches, then perhaps you're more of a trader than an investor, and you need to be able to differentiate the two, or you could waste a lot of time holding the wrong watch, hoping that it does go up or not. So that's been the differentiator for me. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'm glad to answer more of your questions. So if you have any specific questions about watch trading, just put them in the comments below, and I'll try to pick a random question each and every week and do a separate video on just that. Otherwise, make sure you like, turn on notifications, and subscribe so you can know at least if I do answer your question or not. Catch you guys on the next video for Watch Trading Academy.